Through the stage door. All the guests are here. They're going to come in through the stage door that's over there. You can't see it. And there are four beautiful panellists that will share the panel with me tonight. Beautiful and clever, and they'll be addressing these issues. First one tonight, we brainwash ourselves, apparently, the letter writer suggests. And one of those things that we use to brainwash ourselves is watching too much Fox News. Are kids unrealistic? They want to be actors, they want to be models, they want to be flight attendants, glamorous jobs. Why are they just being seduced by the glamour? And the final issue tonight, one drink and he seduced me. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Except it was the boss and now he's putting the hard word on her. All these letters, terrific lineup of panellists coming your way right now. Sweet and sour, stay with us.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar in there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company again tonight. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half an hour, and four beautiful and clever ladies joining me this evening. First up, hello, Tan.
Hi, Gary.
Haven't seen you for ages.
That's because you haven't invited me.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. We'll correct that later. How have you been?
I've been great. I'm back at the gym, so getting ready for summer. Got to start early.
Oh my gosh, you're getting
ready
for summer from now.
Yeah, I'm 45. It takes longer.
Oh gosh, how long is it going to take me then? Oh, well done, smart. What are you doing for summer?
Me?
Not preparing yet, are you? Hello, Louanne.
No, I'm eating.
You're eating for winter?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all are
And
too.
preparing for summer.
How's the world of matchmaking?
The world of matchmaking is absolutely sensational.
It never stops really, does it?
It doesn't really stop.
It's just life.
Do you know what? I embrace the online world because it's just sending them right back through my doors.
Wow. Have you ever been online and... Welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, some
You're
sunshine.
all over Australia all the time now. It's so hard to get you.
I know, cold Melbourne. I've got to keep coming back west to get some sunshine and vitamin D.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I actually was told I was yang deficient.
What's yang deficient mean?
You know, yin and yang. So no vitamin D.
Oh.
Yeah.
No vitamin D. Margy?
That's one of the things.
How do we correct a vitamin D deficiency easily?
Oh, I think 20 minutes in the sunshine should do it just nicely.
Where have you been trekking lately?
About to go to Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
So if you've been to Vietnam, look me up on Instagram and send me some messages.
In my next life, I'm coming back as Margy. You have a wonderful life. Dear Sweet and Sour, here we go, let it run. You know how we can all brainwash ourselves simply by overindulging in certain areas? Well, I'm the only one of my group of mates who won't watch, read anything that's connected to Rupert Murdoch, so I don't do Fox News. Over the last few years, I've witnessed all of my mates become irrationally right-wing, according to you, mate. I thought they'd simply reached that middle-aged stage in life where they'd all become cranky about everything and everyone. Then I realised the rubbish and the mean-spiritedness they were all spouting came straight out of ultra-right-wing Fox News. There's a little bit of bias coming out of your perspective. I purposely broke my rule and watched Fox News one night at my mate's place. Well, I couldn't believe that rubbish doesn't come with a warning. I think it does. It says fair and unbiased. Anyway, now I understand why the current American president got elected. It's brainwashing on a huge level. I could never understand why our ABC was always accused of being so biased and left-wing when I found it remarkably informative and professional. It's the disciples of Fox News labelling it. Each time I hear accusations of ABC bias, I now immediately ask the accuser, and sure enough, it's a Fox viewer. How do we overcome this shocking bias? Now I understand how brainwashing turns people into Nazis. Kevin of Altona North in Victoria. We love really biased letters coming our way. We'll see what we've got to say. Anita, what have you got to say about that one?
Have
you ever watched Fox News?
No, because I don't have Fox
I don't
News,
watch
but
it
I
either.
would presume it's like every other commercial news TV show.
TV is about profit, guys.
Exactly,
get used to it.
And there's going to be a level of sensationalisation with with their stories, and depending on your audience and the story and the network and the channel, there's going to be a certain direction, and it's up to you, the viewer, how much you take in, and whether you take things seriously or personally. It's all up to you. News today, I feel, has got more of like an entertainment factor to it, which in order to keep people engaged, even with the ABC, which I do feel ABC and SBF are quite factual and on point, but they are doing it in a way now, they're presenting the information in a way that is trying to get you engaged and sit and actually watch.
You know Kim Bidstrup?
Yeah.
He was Channel 7 foreign correspondent in London for about 15 years. He says there is no such thing as news anymore.
No.
At
it's
all.
Drama.
Margy, what's your take to Kevin of Altona, Northern Victoria?
Well, Kevin seems a little bit small-minded, I'll give him that. But I do think...
One, Kev.
You know, in his own little way, he is bringing up something quite valid, and I think that we do need to demand more depth in our media, because I think that it is becoming just sensationalised stories, and I don't think that we need that. I think we're smarter than that, and I think that the media's been very dumbed down, and it's sort of just pitching at this really low point, and I think that's not actually what the people want. I, for one, want to sit there and actually learn about the corners of the world and all the things that are going on there. And I think that, you know, it's a shame that the media think that we're not able to absorb that, because we actually are.
Yeah, we're smart enough. All right, Tan, what news do you watch?
No news.
It's good
Because no news is good news, Kev. And as for the American election, it was a rock and a hard place. So I don't think anyone was going to be a real winner there. Personally, I don't watch any news, only because it's pretty much all bad, and I like to maintain a fairly happy and positive disposition. I also know that if anything serious happens in the world, it'll be placed on Facebook via lots and lots of candles. So I will look it up if required, if there's another mass murder or shooting somewhere in the world, which there seems to be every 3 or 4 minutes these days.
Yeah, it's bad news, isn't it? Excuse the pun. All right, Lou, last word.
Okay, what I'm most concerned about is, what are we calling middle age?
I don't know. What's middle age now? That's another letter.
I hope they're like in their 60s and 70s, and that's what we're classifying middle age.
Gosh, is that middle age now, is it?
I think so, maybe 70
I'm a
and
teenager.
above.
70 is middle age. Wow.
Everything is sensationalism.
I'm a teenager in that case.
Yeah, I know. And everything is about entertainment, and it's about ratings and what's going to sell. It's not about actually
it's a sales
delivering
medium.
anything.
We forget TV is a sales medium.
I don't watch the news. I don't actually watch anything, because it's just, you throw so much sand in one place and things are going to stick. So if somebody's watching the same thing over and over and over and over again, whether you believe it or whether you're not, it's sticking in your subconscious, it's sticking in your psyche, and it's not healthy. So just don't watch it. It's very, very
Don't
simple.
watch it if you don't want it. And you're right, we can brainwash ourselves in anything that we do.
Absolutely.
Whatever you're reading, whether it be novels, whether it be biographies, whether it be nature of the beast, isn't it? You know, we didn't start on religions, did we? That's just over and over and over again as well. We asked you at home, is Fox News fair and unbiased? Here we go. And the results said only 20% said it was fair and unbiased. That's their logo, is it? That's their slogan. Fox News, fair and unbiased. 20% said yes and 80% said no. Okay, does that help anybody? I'm not too sure, but when we come back, we're going to be helping a lady by the name of Maxine, who writes to us to tell us that her daughters are being seduced into careers that have not much promise. That's not necessarily true, is it?
No.
They want to be actors, they want to be flight attendants, they want to be models. Well, some people have made great careers out of that. When we come back, Sweet and Sour, see you then. I want to be a model.
Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on me, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you would like to send us a letter and have it addressed by the panellists, send it to the addresses, the social media contact points that you can see on your screen right now. And for every letter that does arrive here and we discuss, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communication. Of course, NRC stands for Natalie Cameron Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week, which I've seen, horrible alligators that appear in it. It's a really creepy movie. It's called Crawl. Thank you, Nat. And she's busy being a career woman and a mother to 2, so when she has a spare night off, she's going to come and join us on the panel. Here we go. Hi, Mitch and panellists. It's so hard these days to give children a realistic perspective on life when we have to compete with this celebrity and glamour culture. Both my early teenagers increasingly talk about being either an actress, a model, or a flight attendant. I know it's great to dream, and I make sure to keep fostering their aspirations and imaginations, but how do I infuse a sense of reality into young dreamers? I was a flight attendant, and I keep telling them how hard it was, and that the glamour stops the moment you board the plane. From the time the door on the plane closes to the time it opens, a flight attendant is a slave to the passengers. We had to look glamorous and relaxed the whole time, and it was hard and taxing, but my daughters have zero grasp on the real world. Is that how it should be? Are dreams meant to be shattered? I've given them the statistic that the average actor earns approximately $20,000 per year if they're lucky, and models have a very short professional life. I know there are the less than 1% of people who make it, but these few who become celebrities cause grief for mums like me. How do we become such superficial and easily seduced people? I'm very worried for my girls, Maxine of South Plympton, South Australia, and we're going to Margy first.
Oh, Maxine. Well, I really don't think, Maxine, that a young girl wanting to be an actress, a model or an air hostess is aiming too high. I think there's a few more bars higher than that. So little girls, keep dreaming, because it's actually a really good thing. It's actually about having really good vision and inspiration and aspirations and all those really good things. You know what? A girl can do anything she wants, anything at all. So Maxine, take the lid off the girls and let them rise.
And Maxine might also be caught in a previous generation's thinking, because careers now are about 17 different jobs. People are going to be chopping and changing. That's what we're reading.
And you don't have to decide on one.
Of course.
No.
God, you can be seduced into another. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a hairdresser, but same as my mother, and I worked in a salon for so many years. I think I was about 8 when I started working in the salon, and then realised, no.
Can you do my hair after the show?
Yeah, I can probably. No, look, I think you say you're worried about your girls with having these unrealistic dreams and aspirations.
They're only young. What's
they're
wrong with
not.
that?
I think you can control whether, like, because I know I know, my God, one of my friends' children at the moment, she's going through self-esteem issues and everything at the moment, because there's been this false representation of what is perfect, what is beautiful, and there's a lot of issues that have created that, but that's because the mother hasn't grounded these girls to say,
So
to
Maxine
learn about,
might be good for these girls.
yeah, so self-love,
Grounding.
self-respect, and actually knowing that you can do anything that you do put your mind to, and you don't need to open that magazine and say, that's exactly what a female should look like as an actress or a model, and you don't have to be that idea of perfection, because it's not perfection, it's whatever you put your mind to, aspiring to your own personal dream.
Careers are about being happy,
Yeah,
aren't they?
if that makes
And
sense.
moving on when you're not, although you do find those glitches where you're not happy in any career, any day to day.
Absolutely. Look, I've got 2 teenage children. One wants to do one thing, one wants to do another. Essentially, it's not for us to squash the dreams of our children, whatever they want to do. If you keep telling your kids you can't do this, you can't do that,
They're gonna want it more.
you should do this and you should do that, you're actually pushing them further into the area, because no teenager is going to listen to their parents, number one. Number two, it's not your job to keep them realistic about what they can do with their careers. Just because you were a flight attendant and you essentially chose a job that you had a perception of not living up to your reality or your expectation, doesn't mean it won't live up to your daughters if that's what they choose to do. But essentially, it's their life.
Glamour
Whatever
jobs.
they want to do,
No such thing.
open the door and encourage them. They're going to have a plan A, they're going to have a plan B, they're going to have a plan C. And you know, it is
And
their
if they
mistake.
don't, they should.
And it's the real world.
learn.
Real world according to who? Because the real world according to Hollywood, if they make it that far, is very different than the real world according to, you know, to the burbs.
Tan, come on in. Last word on this one.
Well, when I was 8 years old, my primary school teacher asked me what I wanted to be, and I said either a movie star or a pilot. There was
Oh, I see the connection.
there was basically not even any computers then, so I think there is social pressure. However, it doesn't mean to say that children shouldn't have dreams and the desire to do whatever they want and be supported and encouraged. If you're worried about giving them a solid grounding, perhaps they could, I would encourage them to maybe work whilst they're at school and start understanding the value of money and how hard it is to actually earn it. And as far as like social pressure goes, have you seen Jennifer Lopez's abs and she's like 50? I mean, the pressure is across the board and we're all going to suffer from it.
We asked you at home, is it, in your view, is being an actor, a flight attendant or a model a glamorous job? And you said, here it is, yes, they are glamorous jobs. But what does that mean? That's what that question doesn't answer. 35% said no, they're not glamorous jobs, they're probably the people who've actually experienced them. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour, don't go away. See you soon.
Well, if you ask a tradie that, of course.
Sweet and sour.
Pour some sugar on me, baby.
It's time for sweet and sour.
Pour some chili.
It's time for sweet and sour.
If he's happy, leave him alone.
If he's happy, leave him alone.
I was just saying before.
What were you saying just before? Never mind, don't worry. Hello, I went to Europe just after my studies, fell in love and got married. And to cut a long story very short, came home to Perth after my 12-year relationship collapsed, leaving me completely empty. No kids, no money, and after 12 years away, I have no real friends or connections here apart from the remainder of my family, being my sister, her husband and kids. After living with them for 6 months, my brother-in-law secured an office job for me with one of his associates and I was able to move into a shared apartment. The work was way beyond me, but my boss kept encouraging me and I really didn't have much of a choice but to stay, learn and stick with it. I started enjoying it until my boss told me that because the economy is bad, he'd have to get rid of me unless I was willing to do extra work. So I've been working 6 days a week for the past 11 weeks. To make things worse, in a moment of weakness late at the office, my boss offered me a glass of wine and then seduced me. He's a married man and a friend of my brother-in-law. Now I constantly fret about the situation exploding because he now demands sex every week and keeps dangling the threat of job termination if I don't make myself available. I feel pressured and horribly trapped. Help, Leah of Osborne Park in WA. Well, you won't have that job tomorrow now, Leah, will you? Goodness me. Lou, what do you say to this girl?
Oh gosh, you know, please don't think I'm a bitch, but I'm going to say, first of all, congratulations, you're a master manifester. You have manifested all these things into your life. I don't have a job, you've got a job, now you've got a job and a relationship and sex and the money all in one pool, and you're holding somebody else responsible for decisions that you're making.
Wow.
I think it's pretty much called sexual harassment if you're getting harassed by your boss. I mean, like, who even does that, Lee? Come on. No, I'm not buying it for one little second. I understand that people get vulnerable and we do things when we're vulnerable, but we don't, in this day and age, allow our boss to seduce us and demand sex in order to get payment. I think that's actually illegal. And if you don't have the wisdom to know that it's illegal, then now you're informed. But you've actually manifested everything that you've wanted. You've now got a new relationship, you've got payment, and you've got a job that you enjoy. And then when you've got nothing to lose, people that have nothing to lose and they've got nothing
Things
have got
aren't
nothing.
that bad. That's what you're saying. Things
Pretty
aren't
much
that
nobody
bad.
does anything
Leah.
that doesn't serve their values. So it's actually serving all of her values.
Wow.
And now she's trying to hold somebody else responsible for the situation that she's got herself into, except she manifested that.
Go and thank your boss, apparently. All right.
I'm sorry.
Tan, you ever been caught in a situation similar?
Probably. Leah, I hope it was a nice wine. I hope it was quite a lot of wine. But you really hold the balance of power here, and I don't think you realise that. I would suggest that you advise your boss that you cut down to a 4-day working week on the same salary, or you will tell his wife and report him for sexual harassment.
Yeah,
So-
you've got bargaining power.
Yeah,
here.
you got bargaining power. You are in control, lady.
Yeah, maybe it's the job and the money that is making her
If
fresh.
she wanted to go, she could go.
Maybe,
Yeah, she could get another job. They do have others.
Yeah.
Well, before we ask our final two panellists, we asked you at home to answer this question for us. Is it ever worth holding on to work where you're being pressured or bullied? And surprisingly enough, 24% of people said yes. So you wonder what stresses people will put themselves under because they value the dollar coming in more than anything else. Interesting. All right, Margy, what do you do here?
Well, I sort of don't understand her because there's no reason for her to feel so trapped. I mean, really, she's got no encumbrances. There's nothing holding her down. She's got the world at her feet. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, she's got no encumbrances.
What's she
Absolutely.
doing feeling
Nothing
so trapped
holding you
by
back.
anything or anyone or anywhere? So I just put here, pack up your desk and take control.
And move along.
Yeah, just live the dream. I mean, really, why are you sitting there with this, you know, probably big fat boss dictating anything? I mean, really, you can have all the freedom in the world, so grab it with two hands and run with it, because all the other people in your story are probably looking at you wishing that they had all the freedoms that you have and all the opportunities that you have, and no one, I think, would be sitting there putting up with any of that. The other thing I did think, Gary, is she could actually just secretly tape a little conversation with her boss. Maybe leave it on the photocopier one day and out she go.
And maybe her STD results that she's...
Oh.
And we'll leave those on the desk too.
But it's
Give it a start.
intriguing that she feels trapped. I don't get that. I think there's nothing holding her. The only ropes that are binding her are the ones that she's tying around herself.
Anita?
Maybe she
Last word.
secretly likes it. Maybe she likes drama. I don't know, because I would be, if that was
Maybe
me.
she likes
that-
drama.
Well, yeah, because you would get up. Any smart woman is in an uncomfortable situation. You've done your studies, you've done, work overseas. It's not like you can't get a job here. Try. Like, there's other jobs that will come up.
Well, she's
where
actually
you're
been
feeling-
skilled herself in this particular area,
Yeah, so
whatever
she
that
can-
happens to
yeah.
be now anyway.
But we can't underestimate the power of like a low self-esteem and things like that in order to affect like people's ability to make decisions and feel comfortable with
And
moving
that's
on.
probably more of the issue
Yeah,
too.
I'd
It's
say
what's
so.
in your head
Yeah.
rather and
Stories.
I think I'm with Lou. You've manifested all of this. You're actually a
I think
success
you've done
story, but
well. You've actually learnt and
you
done
don't
all
know
that
it.
stuff.
But maybe reminding herself how worldly she is. For 12 years she's travelled the world and done all these great things. So maybe just have a little think back to what you're actually
It's trying
capable
to hold
of.
somebody else responsible for the
Yeah,
shape
your
of your life. And at this present time, it's like, well, I'll hold my boss responsible because these things aren't going well. But it's not, what you're doing now is not for something that you've done now. So wherever your life is right at this moment, is from decisions that you've made along the way to
You've gotta
get
be
to this
responsible.
moment. So
that's an interesting conversation. At what point in time in your life do you actually take responsibility for all of your own actions? And
Never.
not one you've got somebody else to project them onto.
Never. Oh,
Nicely put.
get out of
Think
jail
about it.
card free or blame everybody else. Tam, we've got to go. Lovely to have you here.
Lovely to be back.
We'll see you very shortly too. Are you going on any travels or anything?
Maybe.
All right, she doesn't want us to follow her. Lou, lovely to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me last minute.
Lovely to have
Happy
you.
be.
Well, last minutes are always good things. Yeah, I think so. When are you disappearing off to Melbourne again?
Thursday,
Ah,
I'll
and when are
be
you
back.
back again?
the following Tuesday.
Wow, what a life you have.
I'll hopefully see you in another couple of Mondays, maybe.
Okay, all right, we'll see you soon. All right, Margy, you're going to Vietnam when?
I'm going in July, but if you don't mind, Gary, can I say hi to my house guests? They're from Israel, and shalom, boys.
Shalom, boys. All right, we'll do that. Shalom, boys, everybody all together. Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Shalom, boys, all together. Shalom, boys. It sounds like one word, doesn't it? Shalom, boys.